Ugh. Oop. I don't know if you noticed, but if you look at the battery, you can see that it looks a little bit different than the previous one. But in the GoPro, it of course must fit. Yep. However though, all my previous GoPro batteries are now rendered useless because I have a lot of GoPro batteries and none of them will actually work on this new camera. And if you look at the size, you can see it's the exact, like almost identical size. Hang on. 40.8 millimeters, 40.8 millimeters, 33.58, 33.6, 33.58, 12.4, 12.4. They're identical. I'm not a huge fan of that GoPro. Not a huge fan. But with that said, this is gonna be the first time when I boot this up. Finally got it to work with the beta software, and I'm shooting this with a hyper view. This looks like you can see so much. Wow. And then 5.3K, 16:9 GoPro log. I don't know about you, but I think it does a pretty good job of keeping the exposure kind of similar. But we're gonna have to see when I look back at it in the computer. But as I'm recording this, I got approximately 1 hour and 30 minutes to make something with the camera before I gotta pick up Alexander at the preschool. Right now is audio straight out from the GoPro. I've done absolutely zero adjustments to it, and I thought I'd do this test in the car to see how good it actually reduces the noise from the actual car. And if you're wondering what it sounds like when we're not actually having the noise from the car, this is what it sounds like. The only thing you can hear right now in the background is the fan going for the AC because it's freaking hot outside today. In September? Come on, this should have been in July. But no, it's coming now. It definitely feels like the log profile is a big improvement compared to the previous version, mainly because I remember that when I tried out the Hero 12, the log profile looked kind of like it was already colored. This, however, looks really washed out, at least when I'm looking at it in the screen of the camera or in the monitor of the camera. But we're gonna have to see when we jump into the editing process. Well, we got a water hose, we got the car test. Now we're gonna do the FPV test. Let's see how this goes. Yeah. The settings that we're using is 5.3K, 16:9, 30 FPS, auto exposure, hyper view, and hyper smooth on. I'm not gonna do the real steady because it's like we're gonna make a review where we cover everything, but in this video we're just gonna see how it looks. All right. How did that look? Good? Bad? Drop a comment. We have half an hour left to make this video, and since I only have one battery right now. It makes it very hard to do all the tests that I want to do. But I thought we'd test out the different lens mods and see how they look. I'm not your average user of the lens mods, mainly because I fly FPV and I like the Hypervion. But the first mod that we got here is the macro lens, I think. I actually like the cases that you get them in. This I like. So when you put on the macro lens mod, it actually tells you that rotate the ring towards the flower to focus on subjects closer to the lens. Rotate away to focus on subjects further away. As you can see right here, that is where our focus points are. And we can twist and turn this to use the focus ring. Yeah, I mean, like, you can barely see it. Is honestly not that much of a difference. It's like, I wouldn't say that you actually get a blurred out background by using this, because you can see here in the back that it's actually like still in focus, but on the text here on the camera, the text gets in focus a little bit more, so you get a slight blur in the background. Kind of a cool thing. Not something that I personally would use though, but good option to have if you want to make your action camera shots look a little bit different. So this is what it looks like with the ultra wide hyper view, which is just wild. Do you see this? Oh my God. Take a look at my nose. Like, I can basically just show you the entire studio just by doing this. Wow. Just to show you the actual difference that this lens mod makes, I'm gonna put this exact same shot next to me without the lens mod, but in hyper view. This is just ridiculous. Huh? This is so incredibly wide that it feels strange. Like, I could absolutely see myself using this on an FPV, but it would be like we gotta give it a try. So I'm currently editing everything that you've seen up until this very point in the video, and I guess my final, hands-on first impression kind of verdict is done. I gotta say that I'm not convinced with the audio in the GoPro. It does sound a little bit muffled. I don't know if there's any setting that you can use. Haven't given that a try yet, so gonna be in a different video. And when it comes to the log footage, I do think it looks much better than what it previously did. It does, however, have a lot of noise in the shadows. That is something that I noticed, especially in the shots where I was shooting inside here in the studio. I managed to squeeze out just a couple of more minutes with the camera as well when me and the family went to the beach, and there was this beautiful sunset, so I captured an HDR shot as well. I gotta say that the HDR looks really, really good. I'm personally not a fan of the HDR color space. I like shooting log more, but that's probably because, me as a videographer, I'm used to doing that. But if you just want to have like a good running gun setup, HDR is the way to go. The biggest drawback for me right now is absolutely the battery. If I have the GoPro 12, I see absolutely no reason to upgrade to the GoPro 13. And if I were in the position where I would buy an entirely new camera, I'm not so sure that I actually would go for this GoPro, because the batteries are not working for the older version. So it's going to be expensive to get a whole new set of batteries. And if you're anything like me, you have a couple of GoPros, which means that you have 6 or 7 or 8 batteries that you use whenever you're out flying FPV. Now, I only have one battery because I can't use my previous batteries for this version. But then again, I would love to hear your thoughts, what you think, the first impression of the GoPro Hero 13. But I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe. Can't believe that I pulled this video off in like half a day. Wild. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Pizza from Sweden. Say goodbye.